I'm going to talk a little bit about, my stories to kind of let you know like where I came from, where, how I got to where I am today, and try to help you make more money because that's what we're all here to do, right? Make more money outside of teaching because there's only so much we can do as teachers, right? There's only so much we can make. So, okay. As a teacher, I feel like it was a must to include an objective. It was always something that I put only when I was getting observed on the whiteboard, and otherwise I didn't put the objective up, but I had to because it was part of our observation. So here's the objective for you guys. And here's my little owl because these are the owls that I put all over my classroom the first year. I was obsessed with owls, and this is like the exact owl that I put everywhere. So by the end of this presentation, you're going to understand how to turn your existing skills, experience, your passions, your expertise into simple beginner-friendly online courses that can earn some extra income outside of the classroom, which would be great for all of us. So I'm Aleka, an ex-math teacher, as I just said, turned food blogger. That was the first path to extra income or side hustle income, to course creator, to course coach. I just sold my food blog actually, so I can spend more time on my courses and my coaching. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to create another food blog because I definitely will, but it's going to be geared towards a different dietary restriction. But that's where I am right now. And I created the food blog while I was teaching, about 5 years into teaching, because somebody had come over my house. It was before kids, and she had mentioned, you should start a blog. You're so good at entertaining and so good at cooking. I'm like, what the heck is a blog? I had no idea what it was at the time, but I did research right away because I had time, right? I was newly married and no kids, and I said, okay, let me see what this is all about. And I found this food blogging income reports saying that these people are making 2 to 3 times as much as teachers are. And I'm like, this is crazy. I could make money off of recipes and posting stuff, and like, yes, I'm in. So I did all kinds of research and I created my blog. And it was more of like a creative outlet to me at the time because teaching math is very structured and there's no wiggle room and you can't get that creative. Um, and financially, obviously, I was hell. I don't like being capped. I had like an entrepreneurial mindset. It just runs in my family. And I wanted to do something else other than that. So I started the food blog 2017. And while teaching, I would work on my blog during lunch hour, at nights, and then on the weekends. So I did that for about 3 years. And then I came across, and this was our Breast Cancer Awareness Month day. Um, I came across this Facebook group that a lot of bloggers are in, and a lot of people kept having these questions about keyword research for recipes because the whole goal of blogging is to get traffic. That's how we make money. We get traffic to our blog and we get ad revenue, and everybody wants the Google traffic. So I was like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing here. My blog traffic is going up and nobody has answers. So I wanted to help them. And I'm like, I love teaching. Let me create a course. I had zero idea how to create a course at the time and taught myself how to do it as minimally as possible. I was like, let me just get it done in my spare time. I had 2 kids at the time. They were both under 3, my boys. And I was like, I just really want to do it. I feel like it's going to do well because there's so much demand, so many bloggers looking for help with keyword research, which is like a part of SEO, if you guys don't know what that is. And I'm sure you have to do it for TpT as well. It's a big part of that, right? So my first year, can you guys guess how much money I made off of the one course? And by the way, I dug into my TpT reports to do a comparison for you. So in 2021, just from TpT, I made $113, which you guys are probably laughing at because if I stuck with it, I could make more. But I made 83,000 my first year just from the one course. I mean, that comparison alone, I was like, okay, I obviously have to stick with courses. Like TpT was great and it was a fun way to like I still get sales every couple days. I laugh when like I get an email for $1 you made. I'm like, yay. But still I went the other route because obviously I was like I'm onto something. I like it. I like teaching. And then I launched another course this past year. And then in one day I reached my record high of 15,000 on the day, which was like again, I was still shocked that this could be earned from something that you create one time, and then in the future, it just keeps paying you over and over again. So I became eventually the go-to expert at keyword research in the food blogging community, and I was invited to the Tastemaker conference, which is a big conference in that niche. And was asked to speak a couple times, and then get podcast guests and all of that, which was really nice. And then because I was able to, more than double my teaching salary, I said, okay, my goal was to just supplement, but now that I'm making more doing it part-time, what if I worked on it full-time? What if I really put all my time into it? And we made the decision for me to resign. And because I was able to resign, I worked remote. My husband was already remote. We moved from New Jersey at the time to Florida now. We've been here for 3 years. And I have not looked back. No more cold weather, and I love it down here, and we're having so much fun. And I get to work from home, which is like was my ultimate goal. I think that's everyone's ultimate goal, right? I hated being on the schedule. I hated when that bell rang and I was like, "Oh, but I'm not done yet." So, if I can do it, I mean, I'm not special. We're all teachers, right? We all are special in our own way, but I'm not any better or smarter than you guys are. Everybody can do it. So, if you're at the point where you're like, okay, Aleka, if I were to entertain this idea, where would I even start? Like, if I were just going to think about it, this is the course roadmap, and I'm just going to tell you if this is something that is intriguing to you as an extra income source, if you have something that you may want to teach, I'm going to tell you the structure and the roadmap of where I take my students in my course and my coaching so that you can get an idea of how it kind of pans out and what's expected of you to help you realize it's not as overwhelming as you may think. But this is on day one is the probably the most important day. So we would spend a day together to talk about, not a whole day, but on the first day, we would meet and I would say, okay, you're going to take a day to determine how in demand your topic is. Because you could love blowing bubbles, but nobody's going to buy a course on how to blow the biggest bubbles, right? It has to be something that people are actually wanting to learn about, something that again is in demand, something that you bring something maybe like something unique to the table, something that you have a really good experience with, and a lesson to teach, right? So that would be on day one. And I actually am going to share in this resource a free workshop, 30-minute workshop of me taking you through how to find topic demand. You can look on Google Trends, you can look in Reddit. On those forums, there's a lot of people asking for advice and feedback there and looking for answers. YouTube is a great place to go. Just a silly example, this past Christmas would have been a great time to promote a how to hang Christmas lights without 50 extension cords and electrical hazard course, right? This is something I never have always been so bad at. But you know that there's demand, is my point, no matter what the topic is. If you have this video getting 5 million views, 63,000, 600,000 views, 2 million views, if people on YouTube are searching for it, then that's going to be an easy way to tell you if something is in demand. But that's not the only way. There's other ways that I teach in that workshop. But the idea is you have something that you love. For me, it was teaching. Two, something that is in demand. People want ways to make passive income. And there's plenty of courses out there in competition, which is a good sign. And then the third part is where I come in and help you create clarity so that you can figure out exactly how to present and sell your course so that it's clear, everybody knows what they're getting. It's not too vague of a promise. It's not like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to be a better teacher, or I'm going to teach you how to build a course. But no, it's very vague. You need to be super specific if you want to create a profitable course. And that's like my three part magic framework to making a sellable course. This is actually a course that a student in my coaching program is literally launching next Monday. And it's how to make soap at home, natural soap. She uses lye. I took the whole course because that's what I do when people join my program. I say, I'm going to go through your course and I'm going to act as a student and I'm going to give you feedback and then I'm going to tell you how to make it better. So I went through this whole course. I can probably figure out how to make soap now if I just had the ingredients in front of me. Such a fun. I love doing this type of stuff, but she has been known, she actually has a blog that's dedicated to, um, it's called, uh, it's called, oh my goodness, it's at the tip of my tongue. Um, Oh, the things we'll make. And she has a bunch of DIY stuff. And a lot of people on her email list ask her about soap making. She has a YouTube channel. So this just made sense for her. And it was a smaller course that she was able to get done in that time period. She recorded herself making the soap. She showed all kinds of examples, and this was really came out really, really good. And she even had a cool little intro there that she made in Canva. And then day two, we nailed down your dream student because you have to know who you're talking to when you're selling your course. Um, Day three is all about naming your course, which is obviously a fun thing, but you have to be a little bit more strategic and put your marketing hat on to make sure that you pick a name that speaks to people. Okay. Day four is all about a brain dump. It's my favorite day because all I say, take all the knowledge that you want to teach about whatever topic you want to teach and put it on a Word doc or a Google Doc. And we're going to let ChatGPT outline and organize it. So once you brain dump everything you know, we're going to use ChatGPT not to create our course, no, 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 but to outline and organize and create a very structured outline, kind of like, a curriculum type. If you have that teacher mindset, that you'd be really good at this, right? And then once the structure is there, we put it in Notion and we start to outline and do our scripts. But this day here is something a lot of people don't talk about. And this is something I wish I knew when I created my first course because I still kick myself to this day because I feel like I would have been able to make at least another $10,000 off of just this value meal um, approach, which is basically like, how in McDonald's they sell you the burger, but they don't just sell you the burger, they sell you the fries and the drink and maybe an apple pie too, and a whole meal because you're getting more, they're getting more money. And it's just smarter to try to get the most out of your customers. So it's just good marketing, right? But the same thing applies to course creation. And I didn't know about this as a teacher. I didn't know sales. I had no background at all. I had to learn this the hard way. So when people bought my course, I would have loved to offer them a little upsell or an order bump or like a little extra. Oh, why don't you take this template as well? Because it's really going to help you do this. Or why don't you take my done for you workbook because it's really gonna help you get to the, finish line faster, whatever it is. So this is a big piece of the pie that's going to help you make more money in the end. And then on 2 days, we take to plan your script and slides. And teachers are so good at creating slides. I feel I can do that in my sleep. And then, oh yeah, the slide part. Is this where I'm going to show you one of my courses, or my first slide for my first course. After we create our slides, we practice them and we take a day to do that. And then we record. And these days takes about a week to get through recording and editing, which is so much simpler than people like to make it. Depending on what you're going to teach. I mean, if you're teaching how to garden outside, obviously you can't really use your computer. But most of the courses that my students put out there are easily uh, teachable from a slideshow, right? So all you really need is, like, for example, this is me putting a webcam on my desktop computer or my laptop computer. If you don't have a good webcam. You can just buy one. I think this one is like $40, $50 from Amazon. And I record from here and I just use a program called Loom or Focusy, which will record me talking like I'm doing now. And I'll be able to edit in that program as well. It's like $15 Loom and the other one's like 19 and it's all done right then and there. It's the easiest thing ever. If you are doing something like elsewhere in the house, all you need is a little tripod in your phone. That's how I tell my students to do it. Don't get anything fancy. Keep things as simple as possible to get the course up and making money.
Welcome back to Cooking with Keywords.
This
We are
is
in module.
my one of my slides. I found it the other day and I had to dig in my old emails to find it. Look at my terrible lighting. It's so dark. I was in our spare bedroom upstairs. You should have seen it at nighttime. And this was like probably like during the probably like 4 o'clock. By 8 o'clock at night, it was so dark in there you couldn't even see my face. And I was so embarrassed. But it doesn't matter. It shows that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's all about what you're teaching and your strategies and your skills and your approaches. And this was my slideshow that I brought people through. This is longer than I teach. This was like a 30-minute, but I show all how to do. That's all I did. Just all
Putting
about
them
the
in each one
slideshow. So this was a fun little thing to share with you guys that I thought would make you realize, hey, I can do this. It doesn't have to be super fancy. And then on day 18, we upload to your course platform, which is the fun part because it's like wrapping up the present. And I like to use Teachable. It's a very, very popular course platform. I think a lot of you guys have heard Kajabi before is a popular one. Thinkific, they're like the top three, I would say. I like Teachable because it's very easy to upload. It's not like crazy complicated, and you can upload as many courses as you want. Those are all my courses I've created on my dashboard. And this is kind of what my most recent course, this is what it would look like from a student perspective when they sign in. You can start the lesson, go through the modules. Very simple. Okay, we're gonna bust some myths because whenever I talk about this, there's always people that say, but this, or I know, but it's just not for me, or this is not the time, or whatever it is. Let's talk about them. So, the first myth is I need to be an expert to teach a course, which I thought that for a hot second, but then I said, you know what? There's nobody else teaching this out there, or they're not teaching it the way I do, or they don't know my system. My system is different, right? You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to have a degree. You don't need to be a doctorate. You just need to be more advanced than somebody else in their starting point, couple chapters ahead of somebody else. Teach them something that they don't know. Teach them something they can't find on out there on the internet already. That's all people want, to just feel a little bit more advanced at something, or to teach for you to teach them something that will help them get through that struggle that maybe they've been struggling with for a couple months or a couple years or their entire life. It could be anything. Another myth, I can create the course, but I won't know how to sell it. And again, I didn't know how to sell my course. Again, I just put it out there and I said, okay, my course is done. I did not have a big following. I think I don't even had an email list at the time because I had just started my blog. I had my blog list, but those subscribers were interested in recipes, not keyword research. So people found my course because they would spread word and they talked to each other and they said, "Oh, have you taken Aleka's course? Oh, I know a really good keyword research course. Oh, this course, da, 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 da." And then they would share it in the Facebook group, and then everybody started to know about my course, which was awesome. And then later, I kicked myself in the butt. I said, I should have started an email list earlier. I should have done this, should have done that. So, based on my mistakes, I'm going to teach you how to strategies to sell it, even if you don't have an audience, or how to sell it proactively so that your course is positioned in a way where it will sell much easily than a lot of other people teach. Um, Another myth, it will take me too long and I don't have the time right now. Well, if you guys are, first of all, everyone here is already an entrepreneur, right? You're already finding other ways to make money based off of your skills. So if you're finding time to do that, then you definitely have time to do this. And the way I structure it, it's only a certain amount of hours every day. It's not like you're expected to spend all day on it, but you can find little pockets throughout the day to work on it in little pieces. And it's much more, what's that saying? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So that's kind of like the approach, right? Take one piece at a time. And again, you may have to put off whatever you're doing now for a little bit, for 20 days to work on this. But once the course is out, it's like, it's the best feeling. That's like the gift that keeps giving. Another myth, there's just too much competition. Okay, competition is a good thing. And I've talked about this. If there is another course or other people trying to sell what you're trying to sell, that means there's demand. That means people want it. You just need to find out how your approach to teaching something is different than somebody else's. Have your own signature framework, your own system to do something. That's what's going to sell. And then, oh goodness, in this AI world, I feel like everyone's answer is, well, I can create a course because AI can create it for me, right? But no, I mean, if you want to do that and you want to have AI create your course for you, go for it. And it might do good for like a couple days, but then people will realize that it's all pulled from AI. Me, I can spot something AI written like this, and I'm sure you guys can as well. But I suggest not creating using AI because A, people aren't going to pay for information that's just regurgitated, right? They're not going to pay for information that is already out there or that they can find with the click of a mouse. They want something that is not already out there, something that is unique that you're bringing to the table that no one else is, right? That's what they're going to pay for. And the relatability, because AI courses aren't really relatable. AI is not going to give you those personal experiences. It's not going to be able to put your own anecdotes in your course. So yeah, that's not the direction to go in. This is another one of my coaching students. She is about to launch her course. Her name is Ashley, and she created a course on meal prepping kids' lunches for school. And oh goodness, her little bento box lunches are so organized. And I went through her whole course, and since then, I'm now meal prepping my boys' lunch boxes similar. Like this is addicting, putting little things in there and prepping things in advance and batch cooking. I'm like so invested in what she taught. And it's such an awesome course. And she now is so happy. She said, Aleka made it such a fun and fulfilling experience. Her ongoing support inside the Slack group, and I do give access to all the coaching clients' Slack group, so we can talk to each other every day. She said, I could not have completed the course without you, blah, blah, blah. So she was one of my ideal students because she knew that it was going to take some work. And she was like, I'm ready for it. Like, I've already been thinking about this for so long. I just want to get it done. And she's so happy that it was done. And she has two girls too. And she had some struggles. She has back issues, but she got through it. She was like a real trooper. So here are some course ideas for teachers if you want to go that route. And a lot of these would be awesome to either promote to your fellow teachers, to your other people that you know, anyone in obviously the education community. These would do very, very well. The titles would need a little bit of tweaking so that it's really calling out a specific person. But all of these, even when I was teaching, I would love to have signed up for some of these courses. And then I put at the end, for Chris, how to grow a strong Facebook community. You know what you're doing there. Do you think that that's easy to do? It is not easy to do, and that's something that you could totally, people would pay for. How to grow a TpT store while teaching full time. Again, what you guys are doing, growing your stores and selling and doing all the stuff that you're doing on the side while teaching. Show how you do it. Teach people how you got to that point. If you're making a certain, if you're doing well, make a course on that. What's your approach? How do you upload? Do you do keyword research? Where do you get your ideas from? Stuff like that. So these are just some great ideas. This would be a selling tip. If I was still selling on TPT, I would 100% do this. And I kind of do this in my own way outside of TPT. It's almost creating like a little funnel. So say that you have an idea. Then you create multiple. So the idea would be classroom setup rules that run itself, classroom setup, classroom management that runs itself, right? Maybe that's your course topic. And then you start to create lower price resources around that topic. And then at the end, and this is what I pulled from TBT, at the end of some of your resources, you say, hey, want to learn more about my entire system and how I set it up? I can show you my classroom. I can show you how I set it up. Just click here. So then you can take them to your course or your email list, and then you've got them. Now you know they're interested, right? You know that this is something they're like, oh, and then you start to sell them on your email list, or you can directly sell them straight through a $2 resource or however much that resource is. So you guys kind of have the opening there, and you have an easy reach to an audience if you're going to go that route. And that's an easy win. And then you can promote your course on your email list, and then encourage that, of course, build your email list and sell them in your emails, which is what I teach in my program. So I think this would be an awesome way. And then another approach is you can take your best-selling resources on TPT and then try to find a way to create a course on that. Now, I think my best-selling resource was scientific notation Tarzia puzzles. I never know how to pronounce that. Tarja, do you guys know what they are? They fit together. My middle school students love that, and that one still does well. But I don't know how I would create a course on that. So it would have to be something that would maybe not directly like a math related, or if you want to say how to teach math, you can get creative with it, but it would be smart to take your best-selling resources, meaning the ones that get the most eyeballs, and add something at the end of it to make more sales, whether it be a mini course or it could be a digital product or a resource or something. But just that's, I feel like an easy win that if I were you guys, I would totally do. Here are some niches outside of the classroom if it doesn't have to be. Like mine was not teaching related, education related. So I did food blogging, I did SEO, right? It could be anything. And these niches are going to be evergreen and always increasing and improving 2027 and beyond. Anything making money, wellness, health, dating, relationships, parenting, time management, it's never going to be, unimportant. Personal development, tech, all of this. And then here are some just fun course ideas, other stuff that I see always doing well. Anything around photography, crickets, even like the 3D printer, I feel like is super popular right now. I want to get my boys one next Christmas, but if you're really good at that, that could be a course in itself. Okay, let me get a drink. So at this point, you have four options, and I'm almost done here. Option one is to continue to sell on TPT, which if you're doing well in that and that's all you can handle right now, that's more power to you. Go with that. That's awesome. Option two is to build your course yourself, kind of like what I did. Now that you kind of know the idea and what's possible, maybe you're like, all right, Aleka, I'm going to go try it myself. You're like a self-doer. That's fine. But there's a lot of information out there, and you may get overwhelmed with all the choices. So if you do, I'm here to help you. Option three is to enroll in my course, which is called 20-Day Course Builder, and you can build your course in 20 days, which right it was 347, but right now it's only 147. And then you get how many classes? You get also access to my Facebook group for help if you're having trouble, at some point in that process of building your course. You're like, "Oh, I have some questions," and you can collaborate with other creators. So that's option three. And then option four is my coaching program, which is what Ashley and Tracy just finished. And that is a more of a personalized coaching program that walks you step by step through building your course from scratch with the built-in accountability, with my honest feedback. And I am very honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. And support you to keep moving forward so that you finally finish your course. And once it's done, you can just sell it. Now, this program is normally $19.97, but right now it's for being my teacher friends. I have a special code for you guys for $500 off using TPT 500. And my next cohort starts in February. And I usually take around 12 students. So that would be something that, if by the end of the month, this code would be valid up until then, because I would have to fill the next cohort in March at that point. But then if you do sign up for the coaching, you get the course for free, obviously, because then you can go back and go through it at your own pace. You get access to the Facebook community, and that's just all included. So that's the coaching program. And then after I do offer this, if people were to, some people take advantage of this because they finish their course and they're like, Aleka, I don't know how to sell this, or I don't, I want to continue selling and promoting it and continue making money, but I don't have time to put towards social media or emails or even ads. A lot of times I'll put like a Facebook ad out to promote and get more eyeballs or to grow your email list. This is also, it's called my ongoing success package, and I have my team help out, kind of take over that after the coaching program is over. So that's that. Okay. I'm done talking for the night. Do you guys have any questions?
I have a question. When you
Yeah.
first made your course,
Hmm.
so because that would be like where the position where most of us are in,
Yeah.
what did you do for like pricing and how long was the course? Like for if you were a student going through it, like how long did it take you to get through it?
What did I do for pricing? What do you mean? How did I price my
How did
course?
you, yeah, how did you figure out what to do for pricing?
Yeah, I
Because
try
I feel
them.
like when I've made courses for teachers, it's
Hmm.
like you don't want to price it too high. So what'd
Yes.
you do without that?
Yeah, the pricing I have a whole module in my course or lesson in my course dedicated to that. And I talk about that. And my coaching program, we kind of figure out something that you're comfortable with. Because some people either tend to lowball themselves or go too high because they're like, this is like when you sell your house, right? It's like, my house is worth this much money. Well, it's not, because the comps in the neighborhood are not really. So we always overvalue, I feel like. But I started off lower than what I wanted. I think it was under $100. It was a massive course, but it was under 100. And I basically I always send out a survey before I launch my course to people that are interested. So I say, hey, if anyone's interested, either I get beta testers to come on and I say, would you want to test out my course? Now they have to be somewhat interested in the topic, of course. And I say, hey, if you test it out, I'll give you half off, right? The price. And then I will finish my course and they'll get first access. They'll go through it and I'll talk to them about that. I'll say, what do you think? Like, do you think 150 would be? I'll kind of talk to them and get feedback from pricing from them. And they're pretty honest with me at the point because they already had access to it. I'll say, is this a fair price? Should I increase it? I also determine the price based off of how much value. Is it more of like a life-changing thing you're teaching people to like maybe transform their life in a certain way? I feel like those courses are a little bit more valuable rather than teaching soap making, if that makes sense. And so I think her soap making course, she's pricing it at around $50. The lunchbox course, the meal prep lunchbox course, hers is massive. Hers is $150. So it depends, obviously, how much you're offering. She has like 50 resources. She has recipe books of 50, like it's packed full of knowledge. So it also depends on, how much you're offering and how much time you put into it too.
In that first course you made, how long did it take a student to go through it?
I think total was 7 hours
Yeah.
total of instruction.
What do you do now? Is it much longer or is it still there?
Oh, the course is still up. I just got a sale the other day.
I mean, new
Um,
courses that you create.
well, what do I do with what?
Like, how long are they now? Are they still seven
I teach,
hours?
I recommend 5 modules, 3 to 5 lessons within each module, and no more than 12 minutes per lesson because people's attention spans have gotten worse as time goes on, and people don't want to. I think the retention, people don't finish courses. 80% of people take that buy a course, they don't finish it. So in my course, I teach how to make things bingeable. So when you start watching, people want to finish things all the way to the end because if you don't get, you can get somebody to buy, but if they're not finishing your course, you're not getting a testimonial. What's the point, right? Yes, you got their money, but you're not having a true fan and a true, somebody that is going to buy other things from you. So, keeping it short and bingeable and concise and not fluffy. Everyone likes to talk, right? You got to cut out all the extras and really just make sure you deliver the promise to whatever the student signed up for. If you promise to give them this and take them on this transformation, how can you do it as quickly as possible, right? There's many different ways to market. What I do, or you can go organic or paid route. The organic route is social media is the best source, obviously. If you can create, or if you already have a Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, YouTube, you s- you have to get people onto your list, right? Email list is, and though they may buy if your course is under $100, people are called cold, right? They're not really warm to buy. People that don't have never heard of you before, they may come across your course and, oh, only 50, $60. Okay, I'll try it out. It sounds like a good course. But if it's a little bit more expensive, you got to work a little harder to warm them up and you would have to get them on your list. And how do you get them on your list? You give away a freebie. So something related to the course. Hey, here's a free checklist for, classroom management. Here, if you just, get on here, sign it, and then give me your email list, I'll give you the checklist. And then from there, you're like, oh, I know that you're into classroom management. If you're using an awesome email platform like Kit, you can tag them and say, oh, that's somebody that's interested in classroom management. I'm going to now sell them other ideas, right? So, I mean, the lists are the best audience to have. If you're going paid, I always do like a inexpensive Facebook ad for like $5, $10. And I think I started my list from zero in November because I'm not targeting bloggers anymore. I'm now targeting course creators, teachers, parents, everybody, right? So I started from zero my list and my Instagram now is super low because I started all over. Um, and I was like, I need email subscribers. How do I get them? So I created a free 5-part framework. I can give you guys that if you want it. A free 5-part framework to structuring your course. And I've since November have now 1,500 people on my list just from this free ad that I put on Facebook. And it cost me less than $1 per lead. I forget the exact pricing, but the return is really good. So if you just get some good freebies, some good resources that warm people up and say, wow, this is really good for free. I wonder what her paid stuff is.
If I can make one sales pitch for you,
Yeah.
to you guys, just pitching the idea of course creation. When I started on this journey, uh, I was making these resources from what I was doing in the classrooms. I was doing learning stations, and so I just started making those and selling them on TpT. And I started just blogging about it, and I realized that that was like the information that needed to be the course. And so I even though I made a course on how to create your own learning stations, which you think would take away from my TPT sales, it actually did. I actually probably should just make the course free and then just pitch all the learning stations I've made through the
Yeah.
course. But it really is, it's a great way to get more content for yourself. You'll make this nice big net through your blogging and you have stuff to email market, you have upsales in all your TPT products. So it's a great way to increase your revenue organically. It's like it just naturally flows through everything you're doing on TPT. So, Aleka, thank you so much for coming in
You're
and
welcome.
telling us that we need to be doing this. I do have one last question. You said you like Teachable as a platform, Thinkific. Tell us
Yeah,
what's your favorite and why.
that's so funny. I'm actually creating a mini course right now on comparing the three side to side, side by side.
Mm-hmm.
And I've used Teachable for 5 years, 6 years now, and I love it because of the ease and user experience, and it's very easy to upload, and it has everything for a student to log in. They access what they need. Everything's there. They have an affiliate program if your students want to recommend your courses. It's everything you need to sell courses. Now, Kajabi is like the next level if you want to do communities and memberships and coaching in there and all of that. They even like they have everything in Kajabi. That's kind of like if you're like, I definitely want to do this, I'm all in, then and for the long run, you're gonna do that. Thinkific is like kind of a happy medium between the two. But
Now, Kajabi is like your expensive one, right?
it is a little bit more expensive. They're both under 200. So it's not crazy. I think Teachable is only like 40 $50 less.
Okay.
They change it all the time, but it's
Yeah.
not a huge difference. You got to make sure that you're comparing the fees that they take as well.
Do any of them
From
have a
the-
free one anymore? A free option?
Yeah, I believe I think Teachable has up to one course. You can upload a starter plan.
Uh-huh.
And then once you add, it's like you add something else, then they do charge you. So, but you can upload one course, and I do talk about that option in my course too.
Yeah. When I
Mhm.
started on Thinkific, this was 100 years ago, but they would let you upload three courses.
Oh.
And now I think they let you upload one, but like I can't like I don't even think I can go in and like edit a video. They'll be like, "No, no, we
Yeah,
found
yeah.
you."
Yeah. I'm gonna compare all that. I'm gonna put my YouTube video out onto it. You guys can look for that to kind of compare because choosing the right platform is like one of those things that you want to make the right decision. So you're not wasting your money and not having to transfer everything over after the fact, right? But if you go with one of those three, you're definitely gonna. It's not a bad choice.
Yeah. Aleka, thank you
You're
again
welcome.
for being here.
Thank you, everybody. It was so nice to meet you all. Have a great
We
rest of your school year.
thank you. We
Thanks, Chris.
appreciate you.